In a peaceful mountain village in Japan, nestled amidst ancient forests and rolling hills, lived a spirited girl named Emmy. Every morning when the sun kissed the dew-kissed meadows and the gentle breeze whispered through the valleys, Ami would awaken to the enchanting music of her bamboo wind chime. Its soft, sweet song carried on the wind, creating a melody so serene it seemed like the spirits of the forest themselves were singing. The wind chime had been passed down to Emmy from her grandmother, who had received it from her grandmother before her. Each chime told a story of their ancestors and the spirits of the forest they revered. But Emmy's wind chime was different. It didn't just sing with the wind, it conversed with the spirits. When the chime sang, the trees swayed in response. The flowers bloomed in time with its music, and the animals seemed to dance to its tune. Emmy felt an inexplicable connection to the wind chime and the spirits it communicated with. She believed they were kindred spirits, sharing a love for nature and its harmonies. One day while playing outside, Emmy noticed that the normally vibrant forest was unusually still. The birds had stopped singing, the insects had hushed their chorus, and even the wind seemed to hold its breath. As she looked up, she saw dark clouds gathering on the horizon, swirling and churning like a pot of ink on a stormy sea. The sky, once a canvas of endless blue, was now a foreboding gray. A strong gust of wind suddenly tore through the trees, sending leaves and twigs swirling around Emmy like frenzied dancers. The wind grew stronger, whipping through the valley with a vengeance. Rain began to pour, not the gentle patter of summer showers, but heavy, relentless drops that hammered against the ground, each one echoing the tumult in Emmy's heart. The wind chime, usually so responsive to the slightest whisper of wind, was eerily silent. Fear clutched at Emmy's heart. She knew instinctively that something was terribly wrong. As the storm raged on, the forest grew darker, the trees seemed to writhe in pain, and the wind carried with it a deep, unsettling moan. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning split the sky, followed by a deafening roar of thunder. And then, as quickly as it began, the storm vanished. The clouds parted, revealing a sky as clear and bright as if the storm had never been. The wind died down to a gentle breeze, the rain ceased, and the sun returned, painting the wet leaves with 1,000 shades of green. But the silence that followed was even more unsettling than the storm itself. The wind chime was still eerily silent. Emmy, her heart pounding in her chest, rushed to the chime, hoping against hope that it would burst into song once more. But no sound came forth. It was as if the spirit of the forest had abandoned it, leaving behind an empty shell. Days turned into weeks, and the once vibrant forest grew dull and lifeless without the wind chime's music. The flowers wilted, the trees bore no fruit, and a thick layer of mist settled over the valley, shrouding everything in an eerie silence. Emmy, heartbroken and desperate, couldn't bear to see her beloved forest wither away. Determined to save her friends in the forest and bring back the music of the wind chime, Emmy resolved to seek help from her grandmother. Upon hearing Emmy's tale, her grandmother, whose eyes twinkled with ancient wisdom, smiled knowingly. "Ah, so the chime has fallen silent," she said, her voice as soothing as the chime's music. "It seems our friends in the forest need your help, Ami." Emmy's grandmother led her to a secluded part of the house where an old battered koto lay waiting. Its strings, made from the finest silk, were stretched taut across the wooden frame, and its resonating box was carved with intricate designs of flowers and vines. The koto, traditionally a Japanese instrument played during important ceremonies, was more than just an instrument. It was a conduit between the physical world and the spiritual realm, a bridge between humanity and the natural world. Emmy's grandmother explained that the koto could play melodies that only the spirits could hear, melodies that had the power to soothe troubled souls and heal broken spirits. Emmy sat down reverently, her fingers hovering over the strings. Closing her eyes, she remembered the joyful music of her wind chime, the songs of the forest, the laughter of the trees, and the whispers of the wind. She inhaled deeply, letting the memories fill her heart and guide her hands. Her fingers began to move, pressing down on the strings and plucking them gently. At first, the notes were hesitant, uncertain, like a shy bird testing its wings for the first time. But as Emmy played, her confidence grew. The notes flowed from her fingertips, weaving together into a melody as pure and sweet as the chime's song. As the music filled the air, a strange thing happened. The mist that had shrouded the valley began to lift. The flowers raised their heads as if listening intently, and the trees swayed gently, as if dancing to the rhythm of the koto. Emmy played on, her melody growing in strength and beauty. The music soared and swooped, echoing the joy and sorrow, the hope and despair that had filled her heart since the storm. As the final notes rang out, there was a moment of silence, a pause that seemed to stretch on forever. Then, as if awakened from a deep slumber, the forest stirred. The trees rustled, the flowers trembled, and the animals stirred from their hiding places. A gentle breeze picked up, carrying with it the scent of blooming flowers and freshly turned soil. The wind chime, which had been silent for so long, suddenly burst into song. Its music, sweeter and more vibrant than ever before, echoed through the valley, mingling with the music of the forest. Overjoyed, Emmy ran to the window and looked out at the valley. The mist had completely vanished, replaced by a sky as clear and bright as crystal. The wind chimes' music continued, a joyous celebration of life and renewal. As the days passed, the forest flourished once more. The trees bore delicious fruits, the flowers bloomed in a riot of colors, and the animals returned, filling the valley with their music and laughter. Emmy's melody had revived the spirits of the forest, restoring balance and harmony to their world. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange, Emmy sat by the koto, gently strumming the strings. The music drifted through the open window, carrying with it the scent of honeysuckle and the sound of crickets. Suddenly, she heard a familiar sound, the tinkling laughter of the wind chime. Overjoyed, Emmy rushed to the window and looked out at the valley. The wind chime was singing, and this time it wasn't just the wind that was making the music. No, it was the spirits of the forest, the trees, the flowers, the animals, all dancing and singing in harmony. The music swelled, carrying Emmy's melody to every corner of the valley, a testament to the girl who had dared to dream of a world in tune with nature. As the music filled her heart, Emmy knew that she wasn't just a girl in a Japanese mountain village, she was a guardian of the forest, a keeper of the ancient traditions, and a friend to the spirits of the mountains and trees. And so, as the stars twinkled above and the moon bathed the valley in silver light, Emmy continued to play, her music weaving together the stories of her ancestors, the spirits of the forest, and the melody of her own heart.